to me for a quick second about why GenAI agents simply can't consume raw 3GPP packets from the core or the RAN.
So if we think about this, when we look at the raw packets that are generated from the radio access side of the network and the packet core, on average, you're seeing about 1 million transactions per second and probably over a petabyte of data per day. So there's just no way that an AI agent can receive that information. And if it did receive that information, hallucination is going to start. For example, when you look at the volume of data, it doesn't actually always equal intelligence. So you have to go through a data curation process to make AI agents work.
So we've been talking a lot about how data needs to be curated for the network, all of those packets that you were just mentioning. How can that be used for security and assurance use cases?
So it's a great point. In fact, when you look at the packet level data, one of the things that we do is we provide the curation process, as you said. That curation process adds contextual intelligence. For example, you don't always know where a subscriber is in the network, right? You need to be able to figure out where that subscriber is going through its entire session and life cycle. So you have to be able to understand, see that, and add attributes to it. And those attributes are metrics, KPIs, relationships. That kind of ontology has to be part of the network too. So this drives multiple different types of use cases. It drives service assurance use cases. It also drives a variety of security use cases too. Security use cases could be related to rogue base stations. They could be related to basically packet floods, bad actors trying to attack the network itself. And there's a variety of other different types of security use cases we see all the time, related to SIM swap, location identification, and the list just goes on and on.
So it sounds like there are a ton of use cases out there that can be use AI information, but can you provide an example of where a third-party application leveraged that kind of curated data and how it helped them achieve the goal of that application?
Right, and in fact, that's really a great question. In fact, we just recently had a customer that was having a mobile banking application on the subscriber's phone. And what they wanted to do is they wanted to be able to have an application to where they could send money from one country to the other. So they had to understand where those individuals were, where the money was being sent from and to. So to be able to do that, they initially set out to be able to query the HLR and the VLR. Well, that took a lot of additional processing power, and it really wasn't designed for those thousands of transactions per second. Initially, they started sending just packet level data to be able to do that. That inundated the application. So then they went through a data curation process where we only sent the right information. It allowed the application to be able to process it down to the second level, and it allowed the application to provide a much more better user experience.
I'm hearing curated data is critical for AI.
It definitely is critical for AI. There's no doubt about that. As I said before, when you look at the amount of data that's being sent, taking raw packet level information and try to send it into a process, even if you did that, the amount of money being spent to tokenize that data, which AI has to go through and be able to understand that, there's just no way carriers can afford that. You have to curate the data. Whether you have a system like NETSCOUT or use something else, you have to go through some type of level of curation process. The key to that is not only the curation, but the contextual intelligence. Is the issues related to RAN? Is the issues related to core? Is it happening on the transport network? Being able to package that up, add the ontology, those relationships and those metrics we talked about is really the key.
Excellent, thank you.
You're welcome.